So we've got this kind of minky taupe colour. So you want to take your iron, and it doesn't need to be ridiculously hot. I've got mine on the normal setting because I never remember. But and we're just going to lightly press these onto our fabric. I don't fussy cut, and I also don't cherry pick, so I try not to make sure that I don't pick myself a really nice piece. So I cut everyone else's kits at the same time, and then I just cut one for me at the end. You know, I just take the top one off it, so whatever I get is just as random as everyone else's. So take your scissors, and I'm just going to cut out these 2 owl shapes. I don't bother cutting it neat to the paper first. I prefer to just actually cut it out, which I imagine does slightly wear my scissors, but these aren't expensive scissors, and I just buy myself a new pair each year for like a £5. So, but I did used to have some scissors sharpeners somewhere, which I would imagine would also work. So I'm sure you know how to cut, but when you've got awkward things like this, if it's easier to just slowly close the scissors while twisting the piece. Not so easy to talk at the same time though. I got to concentrate. Okay, so there's one. Okay, and then we're going to peel away the template. And there he is. So I'll just repeat this for the second one. Okay, so this brown that we were just cutting out is the A18. So we're just going to get rid of anywhere that's obviously that. Okay, and then I think we're going to take, nope, we're not. So let's have a look. So this bit at the top is also going to be that one. So we'll just chop that off there. So it doesn't have to be neat, we're just chopping it off so that we kind of know where we're going at that point. So you can have his head, top of his head chopped off. Okay, so I'm just debating whether to take these flowers off at this point. I don't like to keep too many layers going too long, really. I think we'll do one more with them on. So we're going to pick a slightly lighter taupe this time. So having said I was going to leave these flowers on, I'm actually just trimmed this one off here because I found this fabric I really want to use, and I haven't quite got enough of it if we keep that on, so we're going to take that off. See, good reason for it. So we're going to trim that bit off, and now we've got enough fabric. So I've gone for this spotty one because these owls are kind of patterned here, so, and it's just that kind of lighter shade that I fancied, so we're going to go for that. So I think it's one of the 885, yeah, ones from Hoffman. So we're just going to cut around here. So these owls are the most complicated bits. Everything else is pretty easy on cutting this one out, but these are a little bit more complicated because we've got to work out what's going on around the face. We've got this kind of eyebrow thing, and they've got a bit of a collar around the neck. So that's all fairly obvious. Let's have a look. So I'll just cut out slowly the bits that are more complicated. Obviously I cut around the flower, so around his face here. I'm going to go to the top of the eyebrow. just looking in the camera, I've got very glittery nail varnish on today. It's very sparkly. I like the glitter ones because although they're maybe a little bit over the top, they do hold up quite well when you're doing the dishes and things. Okay, so we go all around here, keep his leg on. When you've got these ones, it's not as easy to cut out the second time exactly the same, but it doesn't really matter. So I tend to err on the side of cutting it slightly bigger if when it's on the edges like that. So for this one, certainly we're just going to peel this one away. So he's the left owl. Just pop him on. Yes, that looks really nice, isn't it? Well, you can't see, but I can see, and it's looking nice. Okay, so I'll just cut the second one out. You missed all that. I kind of contradicted myself several times, and it's fine because I didn't even have the camera on. So what we're going to do here is cut off the eyebrow. Oh, she says. Okay, right. So we're going to cut off that eyebrow. That's his eyebrow. Put it there with the over. Oh, you're not in shot. Right here, I'm going to put it there with the foot. Okay. I'm going to keep this neck collar, and the same on this one here. So we're going to cut his eyebrow off and put it over here, and then we're going to cut off these two flowers and put them out of the way for now, don't lose them, and we're going to trim down this neck kind of rough thing. Okay, so we've got these two, and we're going to cut these next. So we're going to cut out these neck collars, and we've got this dark brown here. So we're very nearly finished with these now. And then after that, it's very much just kind of, cut a flower out of a particular colour or anything. There's not a lot of layering up in this one other than these birds. So some of the pieces are quite small, so it's time consuming and fiddly to cut them out, but not confusing, as it were. I try and layer these up so that you end up with the least amount of kind of difficult shapes to sew. Because obviously on here we could have just cut these out separately, but you've then got a little bit, and it's very easy for them to all shift. Having that base just keeps everything, we kind of know where it's all supposed to be, and if it does shift, we're not left with a gap, and I found that's much better. And it saves you having to use all the nasty fusible. Oh, looks like he's got a bit. Is that his face? So it's helpful to keep your templates around so that we can identify. Yeah, it is his. It makes him look like he's got a little kind of bow tie on, doesn't it? So very dapper little owl here. Was it a she? Not quite sure. It's quite cute, isn't it? Can you see him there? Her there. So let's cut the next one out. And then we're going to want some kind of cream for that foot and the eyebrows so they really stand out. Because these owls are all about the eyebrows, really. Now, admittedly, this bit will be a bit of a trial to sew down. So I was debating whether to recut the face and then layer it up, but I think that's also going to be awkward. So, and I'm a little bit limited on that, how much of that fabric I had, because I've already cut them out. So look, so that one goes like that, I think. Yep. Okay, so the last bit on the actual owls are the legs. I mean the leg and the eyebrow. So we've got those three pieces. We've got these three here that we're going to cut out next out of a cream. Right, I forgot to actually record. So what was I saying? I've cut these out, these two cream bits, so they're looking very cute now. So I've just decided to lay them on the background so I can have a look and see how my colours are working, so I can make sure that I'm not going to accidentally pick some of these flowers, so like for this clematis here, and get it a bit lost in the background colours. So if you're using the kits, then you haven't got to worry about it, but if you are choosing your own fabrics, put it on your background at this point and have a look and see which colours would work best. So we're going to cut the clematis flowers out now, which are number 15, so have a look through and make sure you've got all the 15s, because I think there's at least 1, 2, 3. There's 3 clematis flowers that we're going to need to cut out. Okay, so we're just going to, you know, I get confused whether I've started the camera or I've stopped the camera. I just thought I went to start the camera and I'm pretty sure I just stopped it and then started it, which probably means that I missed out a bit of it. So if you didn't see, I cut these flowers out and I've laid them on here, and I've trimmed this one here down to just this blossom flower, which I haven't quite decided what colour I'm going to do yet. I mean, white would be the obvious one, but I don't know if that's going to look a bit meh. So I'll probably go into, what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to put it with the other blossom flowers. So the 12s, aren't they? And we'll leave them to the end and I'll just decide when we've got that far of what looks nice. So I think the next stage is to work onto this garland and get some colours in here, because it's looking a bit brown at this stage. So let's go for these ones down here, so we can see how brave we can work out how brave we need to be later. So we've got, so we're going to leave number 11 for now, and number 16 and number 12 for now, and all those little 13s, that to one side. And that leaves us with these ones, which I think are all to do with this garland. So let's go for number 2 for the tulip and get some of the greens in, because we can see what we're doing a bit better once we've got some greens in. Put them all to one side. Okay, so greens. Okay, so I've got this nice green. I've used this green throughout for the garland tulips. So I do like to have some consistency about the colours when I remember. Which doesn't always, but that gives a nice bit of zing against these dark browns, and also I'll go with all the other ones. And once we've got this bit of zinginess in, that'll help us be a bit braver. We're putting in some bolder colours, so that goes towards the bottom here. So actually, there's more. Can be more over there. We'll sort the exact positions out in a bit. So the other leaf colours are the, actually no, we'll go for the tulip next, so that's number 1. So looking at the, if you're doing your own one it doesn't matter, but looking at the tulips you've got, I think a dark pink would look nice here, kind of, because I've got that kind of colour on the other side of it. So we'll go for a dark pink. Okay, so I've got this nice dark pink here. So I think on the cutting, this is time consuming, so do remember to take breaks. You don't need to do it all in one go. Just pop all your templates in a safe place or a bag or something so you don't lose them, and just, you know, take a break. I'm going to have to, because I'm going to have to go and get the kids from school. And it's an inset day as well, so they're I have to make sure that the exits are not standing out as much as I would like. Yes, tomorrow I need to make sure I get this finished tonight, because I'm going to have a busier house tomorrow. Right, so what colours have we been using on this one? Well, we've got a choice of got these primrose leaves, which is number 8. This is where it's helpful, you see, to know what the numbers are, because otherwise you'd never remember what all these little pieces are. So of leaf colours, we've got these ones. So I think what I'm going to do is the primroses need to be a, you know, a fairly spinachy kind of green. So I think we'll go for a kind of grass green for this one. I think so. This is the daffodil. Okay, so the other ones are this primrose, so I used a slightly darker green here, although she doesn't want to be too dark, does it? I'll have a look and see what I can find. Okay, so we're going to, I was going to do these as primroses, but I think we're going to call these primulas instead, and then we can have a better colour. I think that's the difference, isn't it? I always think of primroses being yellow, where there's you get all the different colour ones. So I've just done these as a very bold purple, and then we can give them a nice yellow embroidered centre. Just keep an eye on the time, and I think I might call it a day with this one and do the rest this evening once all the children have gone to bed, or at least up in their rooms. Right, I've got those out, and they're not the right piece at all. That's not that's blossom, isn't it? That's not primulas. So where have primulas gone? Yeah, that's definitely. Well, I can't work out quite what I've done here. Gone. That's definitely that, isn't it? Which is blossom, and that is also blossom. Right. Okay. So let's put those back with the blossoms, and find. Right. Here were the ones we wanted. So luckily I've still got enough fabric left, so we'll just cut those out. Which I was generous with the fabric. Yeah, so it's fabric 7. You're looking for the ones that labelled 7. I should have noticed, actually, looking at the picture, I was going to cut out 3 flowers and there's only 2 of them, so something had gone wrong. Okay, so they're going to go somewhere along that line there, something like that. Okay. And then it seems as having too much yellow down here as well, and that does stand out quite nicely against those. Okay, well, since I'm making mistakes, it sounds a good place for me to stop. Okay, it's the evening now, so I'm going to try and do my best with not having a shadow, but and keeping people quiet. But we're now going to do this. I keep on going to say dandelion, daffodil. So we're going to cut it out in yellow first. So this one's quite a muted yellow, but it looks quite nice with some of these colours we've got here. So it's got this one. Oh, I'll try and put it in the middle. Just tilt the camera so you can see a bit better. Right, so scissors. I don't know if you can hear Lily in the background. I don't know what she's doing. I have got the door shut, but you know, I've said to her that they need to be quiet, and I can hear her going bubble to whatever game she's playing. So lovely. Okay, so we've got this cut out in this quite soft yellow, and that's going to go. Oh, I've put down my templates. Right, there we go. Right, so that's going to go. That's kind of pointed downwards, isn't it? It's kind of like that. There we go. Right, and we'll just trim this one down. Let's put that over there so I don't forget what colour it's supposed to be. And we've got this one as an orange. Okay, so we're going to use this orange. lay that on top. Okay, so what else have we got on this bottom? We've got a butterfly to go there, and we'll have to think of what kind of butterfly to do there. We'll have to look up what colour butterfly it could be. Right, we've got these, which are the... Oh, so basically that's all that section done now, I think. Oh, mascari. Where have they gone? Let's do these mascari. So a nice blue at the bottom here. So here's our blue. Okay, so that can go at the bottom, and the leaves for that one are different. Right, so what have we got left? We've got, oh, a crocus. Just a lone crocus, so I think a pinky purple. Oops, sorry, things falling over. Okay, so oh, just trying to not lose my bits of what I'm doing. Okay, so we've got this nice light purple here. Okay, so I need to decide. I think I probably am going to go with white flowers because there's only a few of them. I might go for a darker bud on those clematis. Right. Okay, that actually is all of that apart from that butterfly. So let's go for white for these little flowers. So I think I'll go for that. Okay, so next we've got these buds from the clematis, so I'm going to go for a darker pink for these. So I've gone for this quite bold pink. It's one of these ones which show how much they vary, because I've got quite a bit of this particular pink in a more recent purchase, and it's not quite the same colour, and it's a little bit more orangey. Whereas this one is just a touch cooler. So sometimes I have to kind of ferret through and see if I can find enough of a particular one. And they just vary from batch to batch, which is a shame sometimes if you find one you really like. Sometimes they're just a bit more washed out or cooler or warmer. But this is the right kind of tone for down here, I think. We have to position everything properly in a minute. Okay, yeah, there aren't any more buds. Right, so that's that one done. So lastly, we've got the leaves, the two other sets of leaves, the butterfly and these buds. So let's go for these clematis leaves first. So next I'm going to cut out, I've gone for this quite dark green here for the clematis, so I've got the kind of, I'm going to say apple blossom, so I've got the apple leaves next, which I'm going to do a little lighter green. Okay, so for all these buds I've got this really nice light green that I found at the bottom of one of my boxes. I think that's all. There's quite a lot of these little buds. Worthwhile keeping your scraps in case you find you missed some. Okay, so I think the last bit is this butterfly, so I should go and think of a colour for it. Right, so we've got everything cut out. I'm not entirely sure whether I caught that, but I cut that butterfly out of the, I might put that a bit lower actually, maybe, maybe there. I will going to embroider that to make it look a bit more exciting. So next we just want to check the placement. So got my template. So just make sure everything. So this could really come over a little bit more. Down. This was not the best choice for here. It's got a little bit lost, hasn't it? Never mind. We'll use some jazzy thread to. It does stand out very nicely here, though. So, you know, can't win them all. Okay, so that kind of looks about right. And this could go a bit more up then. These two over here. It kind of feels okay, doesn't it? So let's get the other ones in. And check that it looks alright here. Best we can. I don't know if you can see I'm doing that. Yeah, I'd say it looks like this could just come out a tiny bit more this way. So, and then everything moves up a little bit. And we just want to check that we're not making, completely covering some pretty bit of patchwork, which I don't think we are. Right, so to me that looks okay. There's a disadvantage of really, I'd like to be able to check this with it up on a wall so I could see it properly, but they'd all fall off, wouldn't they? So that would be a bit sad. Okay, I think that looks about right. In fact, I think it looks very pretty. So that's them all cut out. So don't forget your stabilizer for underneath, but I'm going to leave that till tomorrow. So I will be back then. It's very pretty. It's one of my favourite quilts I've done for a while. I really like the colours on it. Looks a bit off in these lights because I'm using the it's supposed to have I've got like a billion natural light coloured bulbs on it, but still not quite the same, is it? But it's real light. Yes, I think that looks very nice. Right, so next bit we're going to be doing the outlining.